Debt is something that, as an American, you've probably been told your whole life is normal. I've heard time and time again this phrase word for word. Everybody has debt. Well, some debts might be justified, like mortgages or debatably loans, but what was never meant to be normalized was interest rates being so high that by the time you send in half of your measly little paycheck, you still haven't even touched the principal amount. Keeping you chained living paycheck to paycheck while your input increases while your output decreases. Well, in this video, let's spend some time and sit down together discussing how debt has inherently destroyed and also, alongside, built the American economy, and how it's affecting its citizens of all ages. And if you personally have been finding yourself enjoying my daily doomer commentaries over here on the page, then don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, pins below, and subscribe to see my daily videos right here on the channel. And a huge shout out to the handful of you who's been checking out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support me and the content around here, so make sure to check that out. Now, let's begin this shit show.
What was the purpose in allowing the U.S. to fall so much into debt? One answer is given if you simply ask the question, who owns the debt and who's going to pay it? Okay. Well, the people who are going to pay the debt are the poor. The people who they're going to pay it to are the rich. I mean, who owns the Treasury securities and the bonds and so on? So the debt itself is a kind of transfer of resources from the poor to the rich. Furthermore, the debt has consequences. They were actually described, quite frankly, if you remember, about 10 years ago by David Stockman when he was kicked out of the government. He said, look, the debt puts a cap on social spending. I mean, this is going to be a welfare state for the rich, which means we'll have plenty of subsidies for the Pentagon and all that kind of stuff, all the state intervention for the rich, which is the big welfare program, but we'll cut down on the pennies that go to the poor, age-dependent mothers and that sort of thing. And the way you make sure that there's a cap on those programs is to be so deeply in debt that there's just no money around. And that's worked. I mean, even if somebody came along who wasn't a business candidate right now, there's not a lot they could do. The parameters have been set so narrowly that there are no social policies that can be carried out very much anymore because we're just too deeply in debt. At every level, federal, state, local, debt is enormous. It's a technique to ensure that the public doesn't get the services because the public is irrelevant. The public has been dismissed as irrelevant. Services should go to the wealthy. It's just the natural result of orienting state policies even more than usual toward the wealthy sector that are the only ones that can.
Now, America has taken that term, land of the free, and has definitely coined it into a different metaphor, being that, yeah, you're free to take out whatever loan you want as long as you get approved. You're free to get whatever job you want as long as you, get your resume after 6 months of waiting. And you're free to take out as many high-interest payment loans and college debts and vehicle loans and mortgages that you get approved for, and as long as they think you might be able to pay it back, or even if they can sue you and maybe get some later, they'll probably approve you, so you'll be able to get something. And your average American has a vast amount of debt, they have a far more amount of debt than you probably could imagine. And those people that you're genuinely jealous of on Instagram, on YouTube, all those people, you don't really know how much they're probably still owing on their mortgages. That $10 million home, they probably didn't pay it down the full amount. They probably have a crazy high interest every month. Probably their mortgage is probably how much we make per year, as well as even your neighbor that's right down the block with that crazy Mercedes or BMW or that nice lifted truck. You never really know what they're doing or really how much that's really breaking their bank. So yeah, comparison can be the thief of joy, but also I really think it's just a brainwashed reality where it's like, people are always trying to keep up with the Joneses, which is, like, again, an American thing. And I feel like people these days, at least the new generations, Gen Z, Millennials, some people do still want to keep up with the Joneses, but I feel like the vast majority of us just don't really care about that anymore. We're just trying to survive day by day, and the flex, the brag is, hey, man, I got enough money where I don't got to work, or I got so many jobs where I got so much money you don't. It's a weird thing. Money is the entire reality of America, and it's built and broke us. Weird reality. What do you think? Do you think the American identity is just built on lies and corruption? Or do you feel like it's just the top place in the world, and why wouldn't you want to be surrounded by everybody who's obsessed with the dollar? Crazy thought. Who knows? Let me know what you think.
So when you open a bank account, and I don't know exactly what the reserve rates are now because I know they did change this during COVID, but for a while it was 10%. Was what the Federal Reserve set as the reserves that you had to put away. So when you come into your bank and you give them $100 to open a checking account, just to make it an easy number, they hold $10 and they loan out $90. And now, so they'll loan that money out, and so essentially they owe you $100. But the effect of this, right, is that now there's this guy. So let's say you open the account with $100. Now there's another guy who takes out a loan for $90, and you're now in the economy, and kind of like you think you have $100, and he thinks he has $90, but really there's not $190. There's only $100. That you get what I'm saying? But now here's where it gets even crazier than that. This guy doesn't just hold his $90, he goes and puts it in the bank. And so the bank holds 10% of that money and then loans out 90% of that to somebody else, who then puts that money in the bank. And then they take 10% of, so when you actually look at the effect of it, there's like not nearly as much money in the bank as we all think we have in the world. So essentially, if everybody came into the bank, or even just too many people came into the bank and said, we'd like to withdraw our money, there's nowhere near enough money for them to give you. So inherently, the whole thing is kind of a house of cards.
It's like when you're going to a stadium and try to use your cell phone, you realize there's no signal, even though you have 5 bars.
Right.
Because everyone's using their phone. So there's no signal for you. You
Right.
can't get online. You can't make a phone call.
Right, like this thing only works if we're not all trying to do it at the same time.
Exactly.
I've made many different videos in the past on my channel discussing how the bank, the Federal Reserve, how all these different economic, foundations, they're pretty much built on debt. How when you put $1,000 in your bank account, they'll loan it out while still telling you they have yours, pretty much doubling your money into thin air. So if you think how that keeps getting doubled and doubled and doubled, it's almost, inherently, I don't want to say it, a Ponzi scheme. Now, all these videos I make on this stuff never really gets pushed into the algorithm. I feel like many people just don't care about it. It's not as dramatic. People just want to hear these quick little dramatic, I hate my life and I hate my dad or whatever, I cover on here. But this stuff is real, and this actually affects all of us. And no matter where you are in the world, the U.S. dollar probably affects you somehow, being that it is one of the top currencies in the universe as of right now, in this time calendar that we are at today. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this is all just a facade? Do you think that money is just made up to rule the world, and that we're just brainwashed to think these pieces of paper have value? Or do you think that money is somewhat is like a ritualistic witchcraft, being that they put dead presidents on it, they have the evil eye, they have the Bermuda Triangles, you can fold money in certain ways to have certain pictures that are telling the truth and the hidden details of reality? What do you think? Maybe that's somewhat conspiratorial, but I guess it kind of fits into my channel, so oh well.
The wage contract essentially says, I'll come and work for you. You give me some money. And for the duration that I'm working for you, I'm under your authority. What I do with my time, where I stand, where I go, who I talk to, how many bathroom breaks I get, where I look, how fast I work, is not at my discretion. It's at the discretion of the employer. And that waking time, for most people in the world, is most of their waking day. That working time comprises anywhere from 2/3 to 3/4 of all the time that they're awake, which means, effectively, if you think of a person's active life as the time of their life that they're waking through the day, it means 3/4 of their waking time is under a loss of autonomy to somebody whose interests are lined up against their own interests. This lack of autonomy inside the workplace is oftentimes compounded by being under their employer's control outside the workplace. In company towns, in cities where judges and legislators are bought up by the employer, even political authority is under the capitalist hands.
Now, I'd love to hear down below in the comments, any of you guys answer this question, how much does money genuinely rule your life? Do you spend all week just waiting for payday to come and the direct deposit expenses take about before you even get to enjoy having that one singular comma in that account? Or do you never even get to see a singular comma and it's always just red and negative, alert signs? You keep getting emails saying, hey, overdraft. What do you think about that? Anyway, have you guys canceled all your subscriptions over the past couple of years? I feel like I've definitely done that. And honestly, now every single thing is a subscription. Hey, the dishwasher, the washer and dryer, the refrigerator is a damn subscription if you have the newest model. So I feel like many people will be keeping their old models versus getting new ones. And also, I feel like they purposely make new models, especially the iPhone stuff, where I feel like my iPhones back in the day would last 5, 6, 7 years now. After I get my iPhone 12, I'm recording on this now, I've had it for about 2.5 years. It's already starting to get slow, lag sometimes. It's not always keeping up with when I first got it. And 2.5 years is not realistically that long for a device, but I guess now there's the iPhone 12 is old. There's the iPhone 16, so maybe I'm just behind the times. Maybe I'm creeping up in age. Yikes. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Money, not enough. Bank account, negative. Bills. All right, did you just feel your blood pressure go up? I'm sorry. Go and take your insulin. I hope everything's going great. I hope everything's going great with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. A huge shout out to everybody who continues to check out my channel, support everything I do over here. A huge shout out to the people that check out those links down below in the description. Those are always some of the best ways to support me and the content around here. I plan to continue doing these daily Doomer commentaries and my daily evening live streams, so feel free to hop up on over here and check out and hang out with me, the community, and get to know everybody up here in the chat. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to check out any other videos. More coming soon. This is it for me today, so see ya.